Good evening, everybody. This is Dark Comet, and welcome to my channel. If you're feeling the little hairs in the back of your neck stand up and little goosebumps are rippling across the edge of your skin, it's because we're going to be talking about another spooky, scary, dark, and ghostly tale. So let's talk about what we're doing tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Ghastly Serenade. This is a tragic love story about a young couple from Annesburg who were courting in the woods like young people like to do, but the romantic evening was met with a horrific and terrifying tale. This dark, ghastly, and spooky tale is about a well-to-do young lady named Ethel Bossaurd who snuck out of the house one dark and dreary evening to meet up with her secret lover, a poor farm boy named Eugene Hutton. After strolling through the woods one night in the Roanoke Valley, they suddenly realized they were desperately lost and cold. The young couple encountered unexpected haunted guests from the past, and Eugene met his terrific and terrible demise. Ethel eventually made it home with her ghastly story of Eugene's tragic death. However, no one believed her. She was accused of practicing witchcraft and murdering the boy. Townspeople were consumed with uncontrollable hatred and tied Ethel to a stake and burned her alive to drive the demons away. It is said that if you go to the haunted woods north of Annesburg in the deepest, darkest part of the night, you can hear Eugene and Ethel whispering to each other, longing for love's sweet embrace, never to touch again. Some say they must relive their tragic deaths each and every night for the rest of eternity, but who can tell? So let's go and meet up with Arthur. He told me of this story as I was with him in the bar there in Annesburg. And I don't know if it's true or not. You guys be the judge.
Welcome. After a ticket?
What show's on right now?
Today, the Ghastly Serenade.
Ticket for one, please.
Right then, just head inside the tent.
Greetings and salutations, gentlefolk. This here's the story about a young couple from the village of Annesburg that was courting a few years after the Revolutionary War. Courting in the woods, as you know young people want to do. Stealing away all sneaky-like. Girl by the name of Ethel Bossaurd snuck out of the parlor one evening just as soon as her mother went out to hang clothes on the line from the washing. She met up on the road by her farm with a boy by the name of Eugene Hutton. Now, the Hutton boy was an athletic chap, liked boxing, fishing, and swinging Indian clubs. It's quite singular to the story that he didn't seem all that inclined to go to war in the preceding years leading up. Well, they walked in the woods for a while. Pretty soon they lost their bearings and no longer knew the north from the south, nor east from west neither. Then they heard a low moaning sound.
What's that terrible noise?
She said all the truth. Must be a sick calf looking for its mama. They've been known to bawl like that. Let me take a look, said Eugene. Well, old Eugene went and disappeared around a tree, came out the other side, and gave her a terrible fright. Boom! She let out a shriek, then went to chastising.
You should be ashamed of yourself, Eugene Hutton,
She said,
Instead of giving a girl protection, you go carry on acting foolish and fresh like the Queen's prize jester.
But right then and there, a chilly wind blew through and knocked off Eugene's hat.
I need to get back home. My mama has a terrible temper. She's like to stomp up and down if she finds out we're missing.
She is a fair, stout woman, Eugene noted. But just then, before this couple of miscreants could head home, they heard the sound of heavy wheels, groaning, and people marching. The cacophony grew closer and closer. And through the fog, they could make out the shapes of ghost horses pulling spectral cannons, and dead soldiers marching as if their graves could no longer contain them, each wearing a vile red coat. "You will pay for your moral transgressions," the dead soldier howled, and cut his head clean off. Miss Bossaurd shrieked in horror as Eugene's head landed right in her hands, his eyes still darting about, attempting to discern what horror had transpired. Little Miss Ethel Bossaurd ran as fast as she could, stumbling and getting caught on trees as she tore through the forests. Terrified for her life, the dead soldiers marching after, hungry for blood. When she returned home, she told the people of the village that an army of the dead had taken Eugene within the confines of the fog. British soldiers who died protecting tyranny were rising from their graves as if to continue the fight for the demonic English. The townspeople erupted in fright and dismay until one daughter came forth and accused her of witchcraft. "She raised the dead to murder that boy for his pursuit of unwanted advances," he said. "So she too must perish." And that very night, they put her to the stake and burned her dead. Now let that be a lesson to you young ones not to go courting in the woods, in case the English lurk there still.
Come again.
Wait now, girl. You're okay.
That's going to do it for tonight's spooky and ghostly and grisly tale of Ethel Bossaurd and Eugene Hutton's tragic death, and their longing to be together but always to be apart. Arthur told me that he walked around those woods all night, listening, watching. He thought he heard whispering quite a few times, but he couldn't quite make out the words. Could it be Ethel and Eugene talking to each other, whispering to each other across the wind, telling each other they love each other but they just can never touch again? Or Was it just the wind blowing through the trees? Or the screech of an owl hovering overhead? I don't know, guys. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed tonight's Red Dead Spooky Tales, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell because I'll be telling you more scary, spooky, dark, and gruesome tales as we go along through this hallowed but frightening week. So, hold on to your seats, guys. Try to get that sleep if you can, and we'll see you the next time.